Hello, good afternoon. Happy Sunday, everyone, and welcome back to Ether. So, it's January
Nine.
9th
Yeah.
today,
Yeah.
and lots of people made New Year's resolution,
Mm-hmm.
and some people might be giving up already.
Uh,
So, just that happens, right? So today we are sharing some tips, 10 tricks to stay on your goals and reach your goals this year. It's gonna happen, right? That's just you set your goals because it's not easy to do. If it's easy to do, it's not really your goal, right? You can just do it, right? You set a goal because it's not really easy. You want to set the goal and then you look at the goal every day and you try hard and put your effort in it and then you try to reach, right?
mm-hmm.
So things are hard. That's why it's your goal. But because it's hard, um, you having hard time staying on it, and you want to give up sometime, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's natural to feel overwhelmed and feel discouraged, frustrated because it's your goal because it's not easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there are tricks, there are things you can do to stay on that track so you can actually reach your goals. This year, it can happen,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, what do you think? I've been talking. So just,
Well, it's everybody knows it's not an easy thing to do, because what we're talking about here is your habits, right? When you want to reach a goal, it automatically implies you got to change habits, and that immediately puts you up against your comfort zone, right?
right.
And everybody knows the lure of the comfort zone, right? You know, it's been a hard day at work, a long day, right? Life has its challenges, and you want to just have a break, right? And that's where your comfort zone kind of comes crashing in
Yeah.
on you, right?
Comfort you.
Yeah, you don't really feel like you have the energy or the drive to go one step further, right? And so you end up giving up. Yeah, and that's unfortunate, right?
But it doesn't have to be so hard. Just like we were talking about, just changing perspective, right? And then if you think it's hard, it's going to be hard. But just starting to change your perspective, and then maybe it's not hard this time, right? And then comfort zone, you can examine, and if you really need it, you really need to stay there, right? And examine it, and then just one by one, and see. I don't think I need this one. It's not helping me, right? And then once you examine and once you understand that you don't need this, and it's easier to let go if you just not thinking and just doing your thing, and just following what you used to, then it's just you stuck in the comfort zone, and it's going to be hard to change your habits and get out of comfort zone.
Yeah, I mean, part of it is just, it kind of helps to just understand whether your habits that you have right now are ones that you like. It's a thing that you like, or if it's something that you simply used to doing, that you grew up that way, right? Like in my family, the TV was on a lot, and some families it's on even more. Right? It kind of dominates the great room, right? There's everybody likes that great room space where the living room and the dining room and the kitchen are all together, and you have the big giant screen TV, and if it's on a lot, that's a big dominating factor in your life, and you get used to it, and it becomes like it becomes like a kind of like a you know, when you move out and you're on your own, that kind of thing, you have the TV on kind of as a comfort, right? It's not because you're just used simply because you're used to it. It's kind of like
without thinking, you're just turning on
yeah,
TV,
yeah,
right?
and then you go make your dinner or something,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, and you're only sort of tuning in here and there in the background, whatever. And it's not so much necessarily that it's something you're getting something really good out of, right? It's something not. I mean, I'm not, you know, judging TV or anything like that. I'm just saying it's worth looking at it and saying, is this something that I'm really that I'm doing for me, or is it just something that I'm used to? Is it something that I'm really getting a benefit from, and that's why I do it? Sure, it's going to be comforting, and that's what we're talking about with the comfort zone, right? Because you're used to it. But if it's because simply for its own sake, you're used to it because you're used to it, right? You do it just for that reason. Then it's easier to set that kind of thing aside, just to try going without it. If it's something more that you really like, then that's a little more challenging, right? Like you genuinely like it for itself. And when you just have the TV on, like you could have anything like commercials, right, all the time, or a show that you're just kind of so about, whatever, right? So instead of when it's something that, however, that you actually really genuinely like, that you get some benefit from, that you appreciate, and helps you in your life, then instead of trying to force yourself to just simply give it up, if that's one thing that's in your way, like let's just say you want to try to read a book, right, every month, right? That's your goal, is to expand your awareness and just read more, right? But if the TV being on kind of gets in the way of that, right, because it just kind of lures you in, then that's maybe not so hard to give up. But if it is something that you do really like that's getting in your way, then we don't suggest that you simply just stop that one thing and period. You can do something else. What you can do is you can replace that old habit with a new one, right? You directly exchange, right? So you're putting, instead of creating a void in your life with the thing that you liked, right, that it's not there now, you put a new thing in there instead, right?
So you're not just sitting and then do nothing. Okay, that habit, the old habit's not helping me. So you remove it, and then you have nothing to do. Then you're bored, and you're gonna miss the old habit, right?
Exactly.
So instead, you put something in a new thing, right? Like I was telling, having coffee. Right, I want to cut down coffee, but not having coffee, and then in the morning, right, my mouth is kind of missing something, and my hand is missing a mug, right, and then you feel like I need something, I want something, I miss coffee, right? So that's hard, but you create something new instead, like singing. Sing a song, sing instead, and then your mouth is busy, and then your hands, if you like this, and then you put yourself in a different space and helps you forget that you
can sing while you're making your dinner instead of having the TV there.
Yeah, I was talking about morning, but
Sorry, I jumped backwards there.
Yeah. Or like when you're driving, you have coffee. Instead of having coffee,
you can sing
turn the radio on and sing along, right? It's just replace with something new, so you don't think about your old habit. And then if you do that, you get used to the new habit, and then there you go. Your one comfort zone is gone, right? So that's one. Is that the first step?
It is.
Yeah. Replace old habit with a new one. Yeah.
And another one is to make a vision board.
Yeah, vision board. That's a great idea. Like just a board, and you put some images, right? Let's say if you want to lose weight, right? 20 pounds, 10 pounds, whatever. And then I would do is like a ideal body, right? Picture. Your old picture is fine, or somebody else's body out of somewhere. You pick it and you put your face on top of it. You just big face and your big smile. Yes.
So I'll put,
Yes,
I'll get this
like
like, you know,
this.
guy doing a crab thing, right,
uh-huh.
with the muscles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And put that or lots of different images that you are there already, that you reach the goal and what it looks like, right, when you reach the goal. Right? Lots of different, more picture is good, right? Detailed pictures. And then you seeing your future you on the vision board, right? And then you look at it every day.
And you can practice the law of attraction with that, right? That's a typical approach when you're doing that kind of visualization work. So that then you can take yourself, so you're visualizing it, but you're feeling it, right? You're taking yourself into that space, what it feels like. What would it feel like to, you know, have my beach body and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And how I would feel inside, and that kind of like that, you know, for me, I would go to like feeling what it feels like after exercise, right? And that all those endorphins and everything like that, that great feeling that you have, and that is very powerful, right? So you have in the visual,
and then seeing it visual, it connects to your brain, and then it feels that energy, right? And that takes you to that space that you're feeling that happy and satisfying feeling, right? So vision board, like if your goal is making lots of money, put those piles of dollar bills, right? And then you're right there having those money or something, right?
or a big pile of it, and you just lay, right? Laying back and throwing it up in the air and watching it flutter down. Yeah.
So, or big house, whatever your goal is, and put those vision board. And when you reach that goal, like what happens, right? Losing weight, or that's one slim body, it's one vision, but surrounding, right? And you have different friends you're going out with, right? And you have a great partner, you found great partner, you're more confident, so you are having a new job, lots of different potential follows, right? So you can put all those details on the vision board.
Is that one of your goals, having a new partner? I hope not.
My goal is not.
Am I finding out here live?
To start, my goal isn't losing weight, so it's from the start.
Wow, that's pretty harsh.
Right, I'm talking to the audience, right? So yeah, vision board. It's fun. It's fun to create, and when you're creating, you are in a zone, and then you are putting yourself there, and then your whole body, your whole energy, your mind are already there, right? So that is really, really powerful. Yeah.
And there's another trick that you can use, is to associate with people who have already achieved the goal that you're trying to achieve, right?
Yeah, surround yourself with those people who who succeed.
Yeah, because I mean, not all of them are going to have done it in a way that works for you, right? You can't have that expectation that the one person that you connect with is going to be like that. But there's going to be probably some positive influence anyway. But if you can manage it, like maybe there's a meetup group or something like that, an online community or something like that, any kind of there's affinity groups out there of all different kinds, right? So if you can join a group like that, then the chances are that there's other people in that group who have achieved the goal that you're looking to achieve in the way that works for you, right? Some people are like, you know, you told me about this was like some people are auditory learners, some people are visual learners, some people are kinesthetic, all those kind of things. And the same thing kind of applies to just sort of in general, when you're growing, right? You're learning at the same, it's kind of closely related, that there's certain obstacles to overcome and a certain, so you're going to take an approach that works for you. It's not, there's not necessarily just one way to get there, right? So some of the people are going to come from a direction that isn't necessarily working for you, but some people are going to come from a direction that does work for you, right?
And,
then connect with those.
and also like those who achieved your goal, they are there, so that's their normal life, right? Like you being like looking at your goal and it's so far away, right? So and then, but for those people, it's there. It's everyday thing. Like let's say, my goal is, what would be a good one? Going on the stage and having a speech to the audience, right? Let's say it's a goal, right? And you're like, oh my God, that's
Well, that would have
crazy
been
goal.
impossible for me before,
Right?
that's, in the past.
But that's,
So
let's say
much,
if that's your goal,
Yeah.
right? And then if you're looking at the goal, and then hard to imagine like going up on the stage and with so many thousands of people, right? But then if you have somebody who's done it and then does it regularly, for them it's normal. Oh, I'm going on the stage tomorrow and then have a speech. It's like they're saying, I'm going to the grocery store and do some shopping, right? It's normal, and then it becomes, when you are hanging out with those people, it becomes like it brings down the goal, and it's not like a far away. It's a normal thing that can happen all the time, right? It's not hard to reach. Oh, he's doing it, right? So, and then them talking about it is like, okay, it's not that hard to do, and it's achievable, right? So that in that sense, it's nice. You get nice influence.
You see that they're regular people, right? They're not like they're not better than anybody because they've achieved some goal, right? And there's a tendency, people have a tendency to put people on a pedestal, that or to look down on people, right? Depending on where you're coming from. But actually, we're all the same. We're all in the same boat together. There's no difference. We're all just people. And there's a movie I saw once that I found really inspiring. It's kind of in some places really hard to watch, so I don't know how many people would be into it. It's called The Edge, and it has Anthony Hopkins. I don't know if I've told you about this one before, but so Alec Baldwin and Anthony Hopkins are the main stars, and the basic idea is there's a plane crash, they get lost in the woods in Alaska, right? And then there's this bear that starts hunting them. Oh my God, it's such an intense movie, crazy intense. But at one point, Anthony Hopkins, he's the main guy. He realizes that they can't get away from the bear because it's stalking them, right? It will get them. So he decides instead to change the strategy, and he decides to start hunting the bear, right? So he just does it, right? But the Alec Baldwin is like the weaker character. He's the antagonist in the movie. He doesn't feel like he's able to face the bear, because that means facing this. It's a terror, right? I mean, it's so big and so powerful. It's a grizzly bear, and it's just they're so powerful, right? And all he has to face it is a sharpened stick. That's it. It's a spear that he made, right? And when they're in a critical situation, Anthony Hopkins says to Alec Baldwin, says, "What one man can do, another man can do," right? And that to me, I find that very inspiring, because it levels the playing field. We're all in the same boat together, right? Right? And and when I want to be able to, when I try to psych myself, to doing something, that I think of that scene. It's very, very powerful scene in that movie. I like it. Yeah. So that's another thing you can do. is associated with people who've already achieved those goals. And another thing you can do is to hang out with supportive people. This is a little different, right?
Like is that like a telling?
Yeah, telling your
your
family and your friends
family that what's your goal instead of hiding it. I'm gonna do it secretly. Right? This one you putting yourself on the spot, so you cannot, right? In a way, you cannot back out, right? You told them already.
So I should probably rewrite this a little bit. So yeah, I'll include that. Give me a second. Right? Keep going.
So yeah, you told them already, and they already know, right? And you put in your expectation in a way. We say this like a expectation isn't healthy sometimes, but this one we're using it in a way backwards, and so you putting yourself in the spot, so you cannot quit, right? Everybody knows that you're doing, and then they can be supportive. So pick the ones who's supportive, right? Not negative about it, right?
Some people are just like, oh yeah, you tried that before. You're never gonna do it. And so that's fine. They can have that opinion, but hang out with the ones that are more like, maybe you got it going on this time.
So
you learned something last time, and you can do it. Right?
So if you are very dedicated and you can do it, you can do it secretly. But if you are not confident being dedicated all the way through and telling people, your friends and family, that's actually is very powerful tool that you can do. Right? And you just you pressuring yourself, extra pressure, and it's healthy pressure, right? Yeah. So do that. That's
and then there's another one is to ensure your goals are your own. Right?
Yeah. Sometimes you think that's your goal, but actually again, that's an expectation.
There's pressures,
other people
social pressures and stuff like that. Those are not necessarily the best goals to have, because you're doing it for other people, not for you, right? And then that can be harmful to you, right?
It's not. Then you're not being you. Right? You're just doing it for others. Right? To meet their expectation, and that's not healthy. It's totally I'm saying totally opposite from the one I was saying one before. I know that, but that's healthy expectation. You're using it purposely.
Well, it's a psychological dynamic. It's just there in the way people relate to each other. It's there. So in those two different approaches,
so
you're using it against you're using it to your advantage, because it's going to be there anyway, right? In the best way. So this is like partly like when you're picking the goals too, right? For this one is making sure that they are yours. But and if you're not succeeding or having trouble with your goal, then this might be the reason why, right?
Because actually it's not what you really want. Right? Then no, you're not gonna achieve it.
And that's such a big thing that you've helped me with, right? Is you do what you want to do, right? Not what you have to do. And that's where that comes into this, right? It's a big part of it. And that I used to look at things, I got to make this, pay all these bills, right? Pay the electrical bill, right? You have to pay the electrical bill. Well, if you look at it that way, it's a real negative, right? Because you have no control.
You have no control.
It's something that you just have to do. But if you
it's
switch
very
it,
disempowering.
it's very disempowering. But if you switch it and you think about it, it's like, well, why are you paying it? So that you have electricity, right? So that you can have lights and stove and stuff like that, right? And refrigerator and all those things.
Do you want to live in a house without any electricity, any gas, any water, or you want to live in a house with electricity, heater, and water and gas? Which one you want? Right? And then I want this one. Then to make it happen, you want to pay the bills, right?
So the same thing applies to your goals, right? is this what you really want, or do you feel like it's an obligation, right? Do you feel like it's something that's been pushed on you by other people and their expectations? Then that's not what you want.
So
it doesn't help you.
Yeah, you want
It
to
disempowers you.
re-examine,
Yeah.
the goal and set a new goal.
Yeah, and
Or ask yourself, it might be this is what you want, right? But you are feeling now this is what I don't want, but I have to do it, right? And go down and examine and ask yourself. You might find, okay, actually I want this.
I really do want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
So the psychology is so important. It makes all the difference between success or failure in goal achievement is simply that one thing right there, right? If you're feeling like you're doing this, trying to reach your goal because you have to, then that takes you out of it. It takes your power out of it. It takes your self-expression out of it. It takes everything that belongs to you out of it and hands it over to other people. And then where's your motivation? It's gone. Right? It's you're just getting the stick, the carrot or the stick, right? And this is just a stick that's forcing you this way. And so why would you want to do it, right? And if you feel that way, if you just change your psychology about it, maybe you can keep going with the same goal, right? You don't have to necessarily change the goal. It's just your way of thinking about it. That's what you're saying, right? Is that, okay, well, when I back up and I think about it, even though I did hear about this from other people and I felt like I was being obligated to do it before, when I really look at it, I do want to do this. This is something that will help me in my life. So I want to, so I choose to. And that is such a big difference.
Yeah, it's so powerful.
So much difference to just the way you look at it. Simply the way you look at your goal. Yeah, makes a huge difference for success.
So re-examine and make sure it's your own goal.
Yeah, get to pay the bill. Right? Right? Yeah. Or that's what we tell the kids. They don't have to go to school. They get to go to school. Right? And especially these days, there's been so many school cancellations, right? Or online and all that kind of stuff. That what we've been saying to them for years, they kind of got the message recently. It's like, actually, we do get to go to school because we get to see our friends. And there's a lot of things that go on at school.
Yeah, lots of kids miss.
That help them, right? Help them develop as people, but that they don't get if it's 100% online, right? They just don't. It's not the same experience. So
socializing.
Yeah, so they get to go to school now. They don't argue with it at all. It's great. So, and then there's another one here, is tracking your progress.
Track your progress. That's
oh my god.
That is. I'm not good at tracking my progress, be honest, but I know it's very powerful. It's very encouraging. You see your improvement, and then little happiness, right? Yay! And then that creates motivation to go farther, right? But if you don't track your progress, sometimes progress is so subtle, and then you don't feel you don't feel it, and then you kind of feel discouraged because you want to go this far, right? And then you're making this much progress, and then it's so far away, and not making enough progress, right? It's still kind of same, right? But if you keep track and you see it going up a little bit by little.
If you want to get to 10 and you started at 0, right? Being at 1 is real progress.
Yeah, it is a progress.
And this was something we talked about last week. Was that's something to celebrate, right? If you celebrate, it's not really officially on this week's agenda, but we'll bring it in again here because it's important. Is to celebrate achieving that much, right? Getting from 0 to 1 is really important. You're not going to get to 10 unless you get to 1 first. Right? So if you track your progress, then when you get to 1, and 2, each time you can celebrate. It's actually very, very empowering.
Yeah.
And even tracking when you slip, right? If you get up to 2 and that was, it took you a little bit and you get there and you're back down to 0, right? If you're still tracking it, what you can see, because when you're putting really, when you are putting effective techniques into play, when you're trying to achieve a goal, there's a very good chance of success, right? It's effective techniques, I'll say that. You get to see that when you're tracking your progress is one of those techniques. You get to see that the down back to 0 isn't as often. It's not as, it doesn't last as long, right? Or it doesn't necessarily go down to 0. Maybe it only goes down to 1, right? You used to go down to 0, but now it's only going down to 1 when you slip, right? And then maybe you're getting up to 3, right? And then when you slip is only down to 2.
Yeah.
Right? So in other words, there's a zigzag oftentimes when you're trying to reach a goal. And if you're tracking it, what you get to see is that there's a general improvement and there's a trend, right? That's going in the direction that you want to go. And that's very encouraging to see that trend.
Yeah. 2 steps forward and 1 step back, and people get so discouraged and frustrated. But still, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's 1 step forward.
Yes.
But you can't see it when you're
right. Because when you're at the 2 steps forward, you're thinking like, oh yes, I'm finally making the progress that I want to see, right? But then you get the 1 step back, and it's like, it didn't work again, right? I failed again, right? But actually, no, not so much. When you track your progress, you have something to look at to see that it's not so, not as there's the drama. You can take some of the drama out, right? Because there is a lot of that drama that comes in if you have a little slip. So,
like it's natural to feel everybody to feel discouraged, and we feel that way too. We've seen clients feeling that way too. But like I told Paul, like that when he hits down, right? Why I'm like this again, right? Look at yourself 5 years ago and today, compare, right? You're down this much, but you're still doing all those things like you couldn't do 5 years ago, right? Oh yeah, that's right. And like him being like a
drama queen?
No. Like we are doing services, right? And healing services, and then ourselves, we still get into that zone sometimes. Right?
So it's so natural. We completely understand.
So, but it's okay. It's natural to like it's not gonna be a straight line.
No,
right?
generally speaking, it's not.
No, right? And we get cold. Sometimes you feel tired. Those days it's gonna go down, right? And then that's okay. And surrender. We talked about it last week, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. So just accept. But track your progress. It's really, really, it's fun, right? Oh, you saying, then do it.
Yeah.
It's fun, but that has need dedication too. Okay, next
one, huh? Moving on. So no judgment.
No judgment. When you're going down, especially. No judgment. It's be kind to yourself.
Doesn't that really sum it up right there? What you just said. Be kind to yourself. For so many things in life that we are hard on ourselves, right? We are very, very hard.
We set our bar so high up. We have to be this kind of person.
Perfect.
Right?
Perfect. We're always measuring ourselves against our idea of what is perfect.
And look around, other people doing this, and other people from you, other people are like up high, and I'm like here. No, actually, it's just one way of looking at things, right? And
it's a very narrow and very what's the right way to phrase it? It's hurtful
Mm-hmm.
to yourself, and it extends to others, the judgment, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's a very human thing to do. So that is something that we can help with people if they're having trouble with that.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be involve some deep work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 But you can start yourself and just let go, right? I've seen this one, I don't remember clearly, but something that you just be patient. So something that you think it's just nothing to yourself, right? Like even just getting up in the morning and walking around and making breakfast,
Mhm.
right? This is nothing. This is just everybody can do this, and then
No.
it's not special, right? That's what you think, and then you lowering yourself. But
Mhm.
actually, those little thing, and it's some people's dream
Yes.
to do that,
Yes.
right? And then for those people, you look like, oh my God, they can do that, right?
Mhm.
And one client we had, like she had subconscious shift with us, and she was so happy that she could take out the garbage,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And that was a celebration for her.
It was an absolute triumph. It was like for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like she sat there and dreamed about taking out the garbage. She
It wasn't her dream, but
No,
yeah,
but
when it happened.
when it happened, after she did the subconscious shift and she had been disabled for so long,
So many years.
not able to get basically off the couch practically,
Mm-hmm.
that she was able to easily go and do something ordinary like taking out the garbage was one of the things that she did. She was ecstatic.
Yeah, she was in tears,
yeah.
and I was in tears
Yeah,
hearing that, and I
yeah.
almost feel like I'm crying here.
Yeah.
But it's just like, oh my God, Satomi and Paul, thank you so much. And it was just one session, right?
Mhm.
It was deep session, but she was so happy and so grateful that she could take out the garbage, right? And then start raining, and then she was in the townhouse, so she had to go a little bit far away to take out garbage. And then it started raining, and she ran without thinking. And then she came back inside the house, and oh my God, I ran, right? I don't remember last time I ran. And that's, oh my God, right? So those things, like you think it's normal and it's nothing, right? That all those things that you can do, and then one thing that you cannot do, and then you are lowering yourself,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Judging yourself.
That being hard on ourselves. And if you're ever feeling that, if you're ever feeling like, oh yeah, okay, fine, so I can get up and walk around like that, so what? That's judgment right there, right?
Yeah.
Then you're judging that as a no big deal accomplishment, right? You're not accepting the what kind of victory you're actually achieving just by doing that, right? It takes us years to learn how to walk, right? Years. Well, I mean, not necessarily that long. I guess a year or so. I'm exaggerating there.
Yeah, but still, like a.
Maybe it took me years. I don't know.
Oh, speak, right? Years.
Just speaking from experience.
Speak. Being able to speak at years, right? And still, right? That's
to master the language. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like this is just being alive. It's actually a miracle.
It is,
right?
yeah.
And some people like if you look at other people, yes, it's you can just keep going, right? If you look up other people who succeed, you can just keep going, and then just feeling sad.
You're
and
always you're always wanting to be up somewhere else other than where you are. Yeah, if you're not in that position, like this is a big deal with what we do because we help people achieve things. If they're not, if they're not, if they're not unable to be happy where they are, even when they get to their goal, they're still going to be unhappy with where they are, right?
Yeah.
So that judgment is fundamental, fundamental to really to getting what you really want. Because if you're trying to go for a goal, you're trying to achieve happiness, right? You're trying to get some satisfaction of an enjoyment of life, right?
That's the ultimate goal,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
To
But
be happy.
if you have to have more always, then you're looking into the future for your happiness, and you won't find it there.
Yeah, and you'll never be satisfied and you'll never be happy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But once I have $1 million, then I'll be happy. And then if you win a lottery and have $1 million, I don't know, it's really gonna make you happy and that's it. That's right.
Because maybe you get there, and then you're thinking, like, even if you don't have all the problems that go along with money, because that does bring in problems. You know, people change the way they work, they interact with you. There's all that, but then maybe you're thinking like, but then if I only, if you got that $1 million, and then you're thinking like, well, if only my partner would do what I want, then I'll be happy, right? So it's like
next one.
Yeah, exactly. It just keeps going and going.
So learning not to judge yourself and let go of those things and be happy and be grateful who you are right now, right? That's very, very important.
Yeah, and there's another one here. So doing energy work when you're frustrated, right?
Yeah, getting frustrated. It's gonna happen, right? We're not perfect, right? We're not like a zen all the time. So getting frustrated, it happens. But not instead of staying there and then being just frustrated, right? And get out of the frustration, right? And there's lots of different ways to get out of it. Which one you want to introduce? There's lots of them.
Well, breathwork is very helpful for so many things because it just helps you center yourself, right? To bring yourself back into the moment and bring yourself into your own calm space, right? So that's an important one.
And just breathing slowly,
Yeah.
right? In slowly and out slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just that itself, it's easy. Like my favorite one, breathing work, is breathing with the earth, right? Breathing in and breathing out, but with the earth. When breathe out, you breathe out the frustration into the earth.
Yeah, you can ask the earth to receive it.
Yeah, because the earth, it's like the Mother Earth. She takes all the negativity, right, out of you and then into the earth, and she doesn't mind it at all. She is like all love and just happy to take all the negative energy out of you. You can just drain it into the earth, and then it's like sometimes
it doesn't build up down there. It gets
recycled.
It gets transformed.
Yeah, it's like the tree and the human, right? Like we breathe out, what's it called?
Carbon dioxide.
Yeah, right. And then tree breathes out oxygen.
Yeah.
And we breathe in oxygen.
Yeah,
right?
it's like that.
Right. It's same thing. It's not like we breathing out and it will kill the tree. No, it's feeding the tree.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So earth, it's kind of the same thing. We breathe out that negative energy, and then the earth breathes out positive energy, peaceful, happy energy, and then you breathe in. Yeah, very calm, and you breathe in that energy, and you breathe out all the energy that you don't need.
So we have a video for that. We can put it in the description for this video afterwards.
Yeah, breathing with the earth,
Yeah.
right? And you do that and see and feel that it's all the energy and feelings that you don't need going into the earth, right? Be grateful for the earth doing it, and then breathe in, right? And just feel it and do that breathing exercise. It's really, really helpful. Just me talking and I'm feeling it. Right? I'm not doing the breathing work, but then I can feel the connection, and it really helps and really brings you down and feel calm.
Yeah.
Right. So that's one, and you don't have to do this if you have other energy work. Just do an exercise, right, or having a shower or whatever. Just help
going for
you,
a jog or something, right? Yeah.
help you get out of this zone that you're frustrated.
Release that frustrated, hot, chaotic, tense energy. Yeah.
And then you're back in where you are, and then keep going. Yeah. So that's really helpful. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so with all this stuff, I mean, everybody has their comfort zone, right? We're creatures of habit, and we tend to return to our habits. That's what, by definition, right?
Yeah, habit helps, right? It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, right.
Right, yeah.
Right. We have to have them.
Yeah, because that's how we are able to speak, and we're able to drive. Like it's not like a always beginner driver. You have to think, I'm going to start first, and then what? I'm going to adjust the mirror, right? And then you don't have to do. It's just automatic. It's a habit. Once you are in the driver's seat, your body moves automatically, and it's a beautiful thing. So it's great. But some habits are not necessary, and sometimes it's disempowering.
Yeah, and
right?
yeah, so like that habit, it actually really is a subconscious program, right? So when we're learning something new, we use our conscious mind, and we're paying attention to everything, like Tony's saying with driving, right? And you're a new driver, you're like, oh my God, there's everything going on here, right? I got to pay attention to all these things and look in these mirrors, and
and the pedestrian and the cars coming this way and this way and this way and this way, and it's crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot to process. But once you become accustomed, once you're doing that for a while, what you're doing is you're teaching your subconscious mind to take all these tasks on. You get used to checking the correct mirror at just the right time before you change your lane, right? Looking over your shoulder, all that kind of stuff, and you just do it automatically after a while. And that's so it's you're basically downloading that from your conscious mind into your subconscious mind, and it becomes a habit, right? And so that's what habits really are. And
train the subconscious mind.
Yeah, and like you're saying, so many are beneficial. We need them to live, right? And to be effective in our lives. We had to think about everything we need to do, like digesting the food and how to voice.
I want to have a coffee. Okay, I'm going to lift my arm 30 degree and push my arm forward.
Yeah, open
right?
my fingers, right? Gently close them, right? Until I touch the mug without crushing it. Because I can.
You don't have to do that, so it's a beautiful thing.
It just happens automatically, right? And that's what your subconscious mind does for you, is it allows you to put everything basically on automatic pilot. But then we end up sometimes with habits that we don't want or that don't serve us, right? And that's what we're talking about here. All those habits together, that's our comfort zone, right? That and our worldview, the way we look at the world, is so much it gets put in there. That's a whole nother episode. The habits, sometimes if they're not working for us, right? Then we want to be able to change them, and that's when we're talking about goal setting and breaking our habits and breaking out of our comfort zone. And that we know that's not necessarily the easiest thing to do sometimes, right? And part of the reason is by the subconscious mind accumulating so much stuff over our course of our lives, and we're even born with lots of it, like just how to digest, for example, right? Or how to fight a cold and all that kind of stuff, right? Those things are all handled by the subconscious mind, and that's 95% of everything that's in your consciousness is in your subconscious that you're not aware of. That's by definition. Subconscious means consciousness that you're not aware of. 95% of your consciousness is in your subconscious mind, right?
So it doesn't matter how hard you think, and I'm going to do this
Yeah.
with your conscious mind.
Yeah, it's
Subconscious
pretty
mind,
challenging. Yeah, if your subconscious mind has a different agenda, right, then that's a battle to overcome, right? So you want to have those things aligned, and that can be done. There's different ways to shift your subconscious programming. And one of them is simply by habit forming. And that's what we're talking about here, right? Is forming new
Change your
habits.
habit, right?
And there's ways to do that effectively, and that's why we're doing these episodes.
Yeah, habits, building habits. How long do they say? 3 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 months you have to keep doing it.
No, 3 weeks. Sorry.
3 weeks to build, and 3 months to.
Anything for 3 weeks, it's a habit.
It's habit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think there was some stages. I think.
I don't know.
Yeah, but anyway, so it takes time, right? And then it's not just instant, right? So, but that before you hit the 3 weeks, you can just feel like giving up. And then,
it because sometimes your subconscious mind isn't along for the ride, and it's not just a matter of necessarily shifting, from doing it this little way to that little way, a little adjustment. Sometimes there's a barrier. There's other stuff that's getting in the way, right? So me and my sleep habits, for example, right? we've this has been a long-standing goal. I'm better at it now, right? But how long has that been to unpack all the different barriers that were in the way? I couldn't just say, "Oh yeah, I'll just have a regular sleep schedule," right? That I had to figure out through our program, our Psychosome program. You did readings for me, that kind of thing, in order to figure out what those barriers were, and that's what we do with Psychosome.
Do you want to stay in your comfort zone?
Yeah, right. Is that like my comfort zone was basically. I've got workaholic tendencies. That's one of the things, right? So I'm just laughing about the conversations that we had. But anyway, I had these barriers, right? The subconscious barriers that were in the way, that were getting in the way. So I would try to get into bed on time, and so maybe succeed for a couple of days, and then back to the old habit, right? And
the last 2-3 days, and done. There's I don't know. You have saying like in Japanese, and 3 days and done. It's common.
Is it?
Yeah, to try something new, and then last 3 days. That's it, right?
Oh, interesting. Okay. So that's another way to look at it. So yeah, but I had those barriers that were in the way, those subconscious barriers, and I couldn't get, that's why people a lot of times have so much trouble with reaching their goals. There's an invisible barrier, something, your subconscious mind is taking the steering wheel and just yanking it over, right? Saying like, you want to go this way, but nope, the subconscious mind just reaches in, yanks the steering wheel over, and derails you from your goal, right?
Conscious goal.
Yeah, your conscious goal that you set for yourself.
Because subconscious has different goal.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And we have a new program out for muscle testing, right? That allows you to
access to
figure out what some of those barriers are. It is a technique. It doesn't necessarily work for every kind of thing you're trying to figure out, but it is one way of being able to, very powerful, to explore what could be getting in your way, right?
But so if you don't know what are the blocks, right?
Mhm.
You cannot, you're trying to fight blind. You're going like this, but if you know, oh, this is blocking me,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
exactly.
Then, oh, okay, I
Yeah.
just need to work on this
Yeah.
one, right?
So if
Instead
I
of-
feel like I have to finish the job before I stop working for the day, right? If that's what that's one of the things I muscle tested for at some point was that exact thing. And that was true. I felt like I had to finish the job. When I take on a task, I felt like I had to have it done before I could call the day done,
Yeah.
right? And then
But
get to bed.
what happens is when you're closer, you find
A
another
new
problem.
goal.
Oh, I have to go,
Yeah.
right? Oh, I
Oh,
have to
that
see
never
it.
happens.
Right, so it's just keeps going,
Yeah.
keeps going.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to do this.
And more
right?
and more and
more
more.
and more.
Yeah.
And then it just
Yeah,
never
because
ends.
there's also a perfectionist thing that came into
Yeah,
it. Right?
and then like you were saying earlier, with your own words,
Yeah.
like you're not satisfied where you are,
Yeah,
and you will never be happy.
Yeah.
Right? You reach the goal,
Yeah.
and you will see next one,
Yeah.
and next one,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So the muscle testing it's in our shop online on our website. The link's right there, and you can just download the essentials for free, and you can do some muscle testing if you're running into some kind of barriers, right? And check it out. There's also an advanced course that if you're having any difficulties with the muscle testing, that will help you work through that. And also some great exercises that are built into both of those courses that will help you with this whole thing. Right?
Lots of details,
Yeah.
so you can really rely on those techniques, and you can find those blocks, so you can actually achieve your goals this year.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we all want, right? And then if you're still having any kind of troubles, right? There's something else going on. And believe me, those things can be really weird. Like something you would never think of is getting in the way, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right? So that's why our program, our Psychosome program, is so powerful, because Satomi is able to do a reading, and she's able to tune into your higher self, speak to your guides, and then she's able to tell you exactly what the thing is that's getting in your way, right? And it can be the weirdest thing, right? Like it could be a relationship issue with a family member, right? When
It's blocking.
is somehow getting in the way of me getting to sleep on time, right? Because I'm worrying about that relationship, right? Whatever it is, right?
Or
Like,
like
there's-
achieving like a success in your business.
Yeah,
It's the block might be a relationship with your brother or something.
Yeah.
It's totally
yeah,
like a what?
yeah.
But
Or
it's
that could be
actually-
blocking health issues
Yeah.
too, right? Any of those things.
So,
So there's so many things that you would never think of that can come into it. So that's kind of a next level, right? If the muscle testing isn't finding what you think is really the problem, then just schedule a breakthrough session with us, and we can help you design a program that will actually go in and find the exact thing that's in the way, and then help you remove it, because it can be there
it can be done.
yeah, it can be done, and we can make it so much easier to get where you want to go, whether that's healing, whether that's relationship, creating deeper and more meaningful relationships, whether that's creating a success mindset. You know, there's all those entrepreneurs out there, right? Or career, making a career advancement, that kind of thing. All that stuff can be, well, not can be, it is ruled by your subconscious mind, ultimately, right? So when you're getting stressed out at work, right, that's your subconscious mind. I guarantee it, right? So, and if that's getting in the way of you doing well, let's say in an interview, right? If you're getting stressed out before the interview, that's your subconscious mind. Just being on camera right here, right? This is subconscious mind, and I'm able to do it now, whereas before, this was like the most impossible thing you can possibly imagine, right? So like that's what doing this program, the Psychosome program, is able to do, is to help you achieve what seems to be impossible and make it doable, right?
And health too,
Yeah,
right?
and doable can be sometimes, it can be, take some work, sometimes just like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So amazing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
like 99% of illness, they say it's caused by subconscious.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you've been sick for a long time.
Yeah.
So you can just reprogram your subconscious mind and
Yeah.
you can have healthy body back.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's kind of like the first two steps in what we do. The reading, subconscious shift work, and then the third step is to support you through that process.
Mm-hmm.
Because there can be a lot of things to navigate when you're getting into a new territory, a new part of yourself, right? A new life.
Mm-hmm.
Questions come up, things aren't not necessarily clear, right? And then having Satomi around to do a reading or to consult with, it's everything. It's made all the difference in my life. I'll tell you that.
So yeah, if you are interested,
Yeah.
just reach out to us at psychosome.ca, or if you're interested in this free session, psychosome.ca/breakthrough. Right.
Yeah. And I think that covers it for today. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week, Sunday at the same time. And so 4:00 Eastern, 1:00 p.m. Pacific, and every Sunday we're right here, and we'll take your questions, and be happy to hear from you, anything you think about the show. And take care. Good luck.
Okay.
Bye
See you
bye.
next week.